John, big occasion then, FA Cup third round here at Molineux. Not the scoreline you would have wanted, clearly. How do you reflect on the 90 minutes?
Yeah, it was the scoreline is what it is. It kind of flatters them, really, in my opinion. I think, look, there's levels to the game, and you can see there that they're a very solid Premier League outfit, been in it for a very long time, and we were just talking in there about the small details and the way that they move across the pitch. They're just that bit sharper and that bit more quicker on the acceleration. And the most disappointing thing is that we've come away from a game where people will look at it and say 6-1, but we did have a couple of moments in there which and a little bit of control in games at certain points, but the goals that we conceded, some of it was very good play, and some of it was just sort of where the game was dying out, and caught us right at the end as well to get the 6th one. And that's the disappointing part, is that people look at the result and think that we've not even laid a glove on them, but we could have come here and been really open and really expansive, and it could have been a lot worse. But we come here and had a bit of a game plan. Didn't go to plan, but the main part of the work now is we got lots of very important league games, and we're obviously disappointed for the great numbers that turn up from Shrewsbury. Bear in mind the conditions and everything that's happened in the last couple of days with the weather. They turn up in great numbers, and if you asked any of them, would they rather us win today or make sure that we get some wins on the board in the league and confirm our status in League Two? I think most of them, if not all of them's answer will be the next 22 games are far more important than this afternoon.
It was such a tough start, falling 2-0 down early on. You then scored a very nicely taken penalty for 2-1. At that stage, did you feel you were right back in the cup tie?
Yeah, anything can happen, and we did. We found ourselves 2-0 down pretty quickly, and that's the moment where you sort of have to go, well, look, let's not make it a cricket score. But I think that might have been sort of a bit of nervous energy, maybe, or something from the lads, and finding your feet into the game. But as you say, you quickly find yourself 2-0 down. We then get the penalty and we make it 2-1, and we had sort of maybe like a 7 or 8 minute spell where we really started growing back into it. And then it's 3-1 going into half time, and then it's sort of, can we regroup, can we try and get the next goal if possible? And Morgs was unlucky when he slid it across the box, that he got intercepted when it was on its way to me, and could have been a different story. But as I said, the main thing is what's coming ahead. We know that next week we've got Harrogate at home, which is a massively important game, far more important than this week in my opinion. The only, as I say, disappointment is that we've got 3,000 Shrewsbury fans that have made their way down the road, and they're coming away from a 6-1 defeat. But hopefully we've learned some lessons from this week and put that into the last 22 league games that we have.
It's been a good cup run. Getting through to the third round is always a target, isn't it, of clubs in League One, League Two, non-league clubs as well at the start of the season. And you've done that. Good money brought in for the football club. What are your thoughts going into these important league games you've got coming up? So important you get a good return of points between now and the end of the campaign. Yeah,
look, obviously FA Cup run does things for the club in terms of finances, and games have been on telly, etc., and getting yourself a draw away at Wolverhampton. But if we're being honest, I've never seen a League One or a League Two team win the FA Cup. So the cup run is important in a sense for finances for the club, I'd imagine, but for players, your bread and butter is the league, and that's where you are judged, and we all want to be playing at least in League Two next season. We've got a lot of work to do between now and the end of the season to make sure we can confirm that. But as you say, next week's the most important thing for us, and we're not going to be too down. We're not going to dwell on it. We're all pretty realistic people in terms of we've come up against a decent Premier League team. A lot of them played. It's not like they made wholesale changes. A lot of them do play week in, week out in the Premier League. So we know that what's coming ahead is much more important than what we face this afternoon. Yeah,
just look at the Wolves starting 11 today. They're all full senior internationals. Did that come as a surprise? Did you think Wolves were going to go as strong as they did in terms of the selection from Rob Edwards today?
Well, look, we do some team analysis and we look at things and what we might come up against, and to be honest, whichever players they played, they would have obviously had a very strong team out, and they went relatively strong. They're probably looking at their situation and where they are and wanting to gain some confidence and get a win, and obviously that's the way that they set up. But as I say, for us, we know what our bigger picture is, and our bigger picture is winning games to stay in League Two.
Just finally, you did score at a Premier League ground. I know it's all about the team and the results, but is that any sort of slight consolation, the fact you've got a goal at a Premier League club today?
Well, for me personally, obviously scoring goals is important to me and to help the team. But I'm not going to. It's nothing much, unfortunately, that I can celebrate about too much. But in years to come, looking back, it'll be a good memory to have that we come away at Wolves, and as much as the result wasn't great, it was managed to get on the score sheet. But as I say, there's far more important things now. Even if I didn't score a goal between now and the end of the season, and we ended up staying up, and pulling away from where we are at the moment, that's the most important thing. So you've got to look at the bigger picture sometimes, and that's what we're looking at moving forward.